All right, boys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how I got absolutely shredded to the bone in 14 weeks and why you shouldn't do it. Slightly different style of video today. I've got the whiteboard behind me. I've got some pictures on my phone. I'm going to kind of talk you through why I don't think it's the best thing for most people. Now, this channel is all about building muscle, getting ripped, building the complete physique. But a lot of people say, oh, you know, Max, I want to get shredded. I want to get vascular ripped and all this madness. And the God's honest truth is no, you do not. You want to get beach lean, 10-12% body fat. That's what the majority of you should be aiming for. Some of you that say I want to get shredded, you're going to get a bit of a rude awakening. I'm going to take you through kind of the logistics of how I did it. Hopefully you can see all this stuff, okay? And I'm going to take you through the negatives as well. So first things first, I got shredded to the bone in 14 weeks. Did a men's physique competition 2.5 years ago and put myself in the shit, basically. And I'm going to, hopefully in this video, the whole point of this is so you can learn that it probably isn't the best move for you. Getting ripped and getting lean is for you. So hear me out, okay? First things first, these are my start pics, okay? Going to put them up here. This is me at the end of a 6-month gaining phase. I was eating close to 4,000 calories a day. I was a big guy, I was about 103 kilos. I was just full of food, non-stop. All I did was eat. And I felt like shit, okay? Now, but the benefits of this, yeah, is I built my metabolism. If you watch any of my videos, you know, all I talk about is building your metabolism, raising your metabolic rate so you can diet on more food. Here, I was maintaining my body weight well over 3,000 calories, about 3,500 calories to maintain. So I had to eat, you know, 3,750, 4,000 to build muscle. This is a good place to be to get lean, okay? Now, the first change I made, so week 1 to week 4, I took my calories down to 3,200. Already I can hear you, oh my God, but Max, how are you dieting with 3,200? That's my gaining phase, that's what I bulk on. Yeah, well, I've been training for 10 years, 15 years properly. I pushed my calories up, doing exactly what I tell you guys all to do. Okay, which by the way, I also teach in my course, which you can get below if you want. But anyway, here we go. We started at 3,200 calories. This was a deficit for me at the time. 5 times 20 minutes of cardio on the Stairmaster, which is what I chose. You don't have to do it. Level 10, that's already, if you know, that's hard, yeah? Gym was 5 times a week, push-pull legs, upper lower, 2 big lower body sessions in there, horrendous, 10,000 steps. Already a hefty amount of output, even though calories are quite high, yeah? What you'll see is this picture up here. This is week 2. Straight away, dropped 3-4 kilos, water, everything. We started to come in right away. I already look pretty good here, okay? I don't know what my weight was. I've just got the pictures from week 1 to week 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 to 14, yeah? So 14-week transformation. Then we go to week 4. No changes here, yeah? Week 4, no changes here. As you can see, I've already gone from fat and bloated to looking pretty decent to already looking pretty lean. Guys, God's honest truth, that is the look, yeah? Maybe the look after this. But I did this on this amount of output, okay? Week 4 or week 5, I made some changes. I dropped to 2,800 calories. Cardio went from 5 times 20 to 5 times 30, level 12 on the stairs. Big output shift. Gym stayed the same, steps went to 12,000, okay? So my output is up, my calories are way down. That's a 400 calorie drop. Way more extreme than I normally promote to you guys. But the whole point of this video is to show you that you probably don't want to do this because I'm going to get into how I looked, how I felt and all of the bad side effects in just a second. But from the start to week 4, because I was already not in a bad starting position because I was well trained. I was training hard as hell for 6 months before that. I didn't just come off the couch and say I'm going to do a show. Week 4, I already looked good. Week 6, boom, week 6. Now guys, here, as you can see, I'm already pretty lean, my legs are coming in. This for me is the look. This is kind of like where I sit now, yeah? Maybe a little bit leaner. This is probably about there. This is where I sit now. This for me is like the beach body look. Pretty fit, well muscled, pretty lean, not shredded, no crazy food focus, feeling good. Doing it on a decent amount of food with a decent amount of output. Yeah, that's fine. Then we go to week 8, where are we? We are week 2, week 4, week 6, into week 8. As you can see, no real changes there. from week 6 to week 8, so we had to obviously make the next shift. But again, I'm still kind of dropping weight here, okay? Guys, I've gone from okay to ripped here, yeah? This is probably where you should be looking to go for your holiday, to look good, to film content. Being ripped or beach lean is good. This is what happens when you go one step further, yeah? When we go to week 10. But before we do that, as you can see, week 9 to week 12 here, there's another big drop, another 400 calorie drop. Why so aggressive? Because I had a competition coming up and I didn't have time to do 150 calories at a time. We needed to get shredded. You don't want to get shredded. This is what shredded really means. Big drop. Cardio, 5 times 45 on the stairs, level 14. That's horrendous. Gym, the same. Still those 2 lower body sessions killing me. 15,000 steps in Dubai in the heat. Yeah, that is no fun for anyone. And I ran that from week 8 to week 12. As you can see, this is the look here, very, very lean. We've got week 10. No, this is week 12 here, okay? This is week 12. So by week 12, what you see here on your screen, oh yeah, he's ripped, he looks great. I felt like utter shit here. I felt like utter shit. I had all of these issues already, which I'm gonna get into. Everything was on the floor here. To be honest, guys, after week 6, everything went downhill. I felt like crap. My energy was gone. My poor girlfriend, I had no sex drive. All I thought about was food. If she was eating in the room, I remember once she brought home some sushi and a packet of crisps, I had to leave the house because I was a freak around food with a huge eating disorder, okay? So if we just get up, I'm just gonna get up week 6 here versus week 12. There's not that much crazy visual to you guys, but the people who know how to get lean can see that there's a big difference here. I looked great in week 6. I looked good, even leaner in week 12, but I was completely out of it, yeah? And then we move into obviously the show day. So before I put those pictures up, for the last 2 weeks, even though I was already knocking on death's door here with fatigue, we then dropped it to 2-2. Cardio went 7 times 45. Like it was just a brutal finisher, yeah? And then this is the final look. Obviously on stage here, I dropped about 11 kilos, 12 kilos of fat. I'm pretty damn lean, yeah? I'll also bring up another picture so you can see just how lean I was. That's shredded, guys. We have vascular abs coming up and all of that. That was a horrible, horrible place to be, okay? So I want to teach you guys that you want to get ripped. When you get my course below, I'd literally show you guys how to build muscle, how to get lean, and how to stay there like this, yeah? I'm not super big anymore. I'm not super shredded anymore. I'm somewhere in the middle. The side effects that come with getting shredded, which no one wants to talk about. I hated training, guys. When I say I hated training, this is coming from a guy who literally, his whole job is making training videos, coaching clients on how to get in shape. That's all I do. I literally make a living off this stuff. I hated the gym. I used to force myself to go. I had to drop down to a 3-day training split because I just hated going to the gym so much, okay? The rebound. By the way, this took me a good year. I went through that, went through a bit of a hybrid phase, you know, like what everyone does when they start CrossFit for 10 minutes, then quit. I hated weightlifting. Weightlifting for me, I used to go to the gym. It was like my chance to have peace. I could think clearly, I had a connection with the weights. It was like a real personal time for me. And I got to the point where I just hated it. I'm looking at my numbers thinking, fuck, I need to try and squat that. Got no energy. The rebound. I started at 103 kilos, yeah? I competed at 90.9. 90.9. The next day I was over 100 kilos. Yeah, so I put on 9 kilos in 24 hours. I finished my competition, yeah, which was an absolute waste of time, by the way. Mental Physique, it's a joke, just saying. Finished my competition. They were late to one of the shows, so I missed one of the competitions when I was meant to compete with the beginners, had to compete with the big boys, got smoked, obviously. Anyway, didn't get smoked, I came fourth, but whatever. So the reason I'm saying this is this rebound. I went from 90.9 to over 100 kilos in 24 hours, okay? So I literally finished my show, rice cakes, peanut butter, 5 guys, all you can eat sushi. Come in, bro, come in. Sweet. All you can eat sushi, milkshakes. Came home, I was completely blown up, went for like a big froyo, woke up over 100 kilos, yeah? I wasn't able to get under 100 kilos for nearly 3 months. I couldn't stop eating, okay? I had a massive issue around food. when I was lean and in good shape, I didn't have that. When I got shredded to the bone, I had a huge issue around food. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd go and slam food, go to bed so full that I couldn't sleep. I had to lie on my side. And then I'd wake up in the morning and go and do it again. I didn't get under 100 kilos until 3 months later when I went to Bali, funny because I'm here now, and got Bali belly. And that's how I dropped under. And I've never been over since. No sex, none, forget it. Didn't care, don't care what you look like, I'm hungry. Sorry, ex-girlfriend, there was no sex, yeah? Eating disorder, I've kind of rubbed that off, sorry. Eating disorder, I've full-blown had an eating disorder. I couldn't stop eating. I couldn't stop eating. And I'm very, very self-controlled around food, but that was the first time I really experienced issues around my eating, okay? And it lasted for ages. Even when I shot up over 100 kilos and accumulated a lot of body fat in a short amount of time, it didn't just go away. It took weeks and weeks and weeks and slowly tapered off till I had normal food focus, yeah? But body dysmorphia, I still have it now. Everyone says to me, oh, you're so lean. No, I've been shredded to the bone. Like, this for me is just, like, I'm never gonna feel that good because I've been shredded and I've been massive. So for me, like, it took me a long, long time to kind of just be happy. Like, you know what, this is just my physique now. I'm not massive, I'm not super shredded, but I'm somewhere in the middle and I'm okay with that, yeah? The side effects, when you compete, you use steroids. I use steroids. I had acne all over my back, and I still have like scarring on my back here, okay? Hair thinning, all of that bullshit, and just the coming off, and it just, you're never gonna look that good again. It wrecks with your head, all that stuff, okay? And this is the big one for me, no social life. If you buy my course, yeah, or you do any of my online coaching, I preach balance, I preach a social life, I preach still having fun with your friends, but still building muscle and losing body fat. I had no social life for 14 weeks when I prepped for this show to get shredded, yeah? Afterwards, I was so nervous about rebounding. Sorry guys, I was so nervous about rebounding, I still didn't really want to go out and drink. I made the mistake of, after my show, it was in Alicante, I flew Dubai to Alicante. I went from Alicante to Portugal to an ex-girlfriend's house. We had this big holiday plan. All of her friends came for like a 4-day bender. And I was having to, because I was eating so much food, then going out drinking, I had to sleep with my feet elevated because my ankles were so swollen because I put on so much water and fat so quickly. So every night I was sleeping with my feet elevated, coming down for breakfast, trying to be like, everyone thought, oh, you know, you can celebrate, you've done this show, why don't you eat some food? I'm so fucking hungry that I'm slamming Cocoa Pops, yogurts, eggs, bacon, shakes, and going out for lunch. I just couldn't stop eating with these big swollen ankles. And then drinking alcohol, it was a disaster for my health. It took me a couple of weeks to get back to normal. And then I absolutely hated the way I looked because I'd blown up so bad that I kind of had to like go back into this. And I had to almost like go back into prep to like bring my physique back to just baseline. So what I'm telling you guys is the goal is to get lean, yeah? The goal is to get lean. Run this week 1 to week 4. Run this week 5 to week 8, but then go, you know, 3,200 to 3,000, then 2,800. You should never really have to drop to here. Obviously, the calories are all relative, yeah? You might have to start your diet on 2,500 and get down to 1,800. This is obviously coming from a slightly bigger guy who was able to do what I teach, bring his metabolism up so I could diet on more food. But it took me nearly a year to get to this position where I've built my calories up over time, done a mini cut, built my calories up over time, done a mini cut, and all that stuff to be able to start on that much food. But as you saw, my week 6 pictures are where it's at. That is the nice, lean, maintainable look. Still enjoy yourself on a weekend, eat pretty good most of the time. That is the way forward. If your goal is to get shredded, guys, think again. The goal is to be beach lean. If you like this video, if you found any of this helpful, I teach all of this stuff in my course, which I've plugged about 4 million times. See you in the next one.